And how perfect is this? He's just come in to actually join the Whispering Room on animals, and this is the gorgeous Marlowe, who visits me once or twice a day. And yes, he plays quite a special part in my life. And there we go. I think he just wants biscuits at the moment, but isn't he a beautiful Black Panther? So I'm not sure how long he'll hang around, but he doesn't really like internet meetings, but he just prefers the garden. So there we go. There's that gorgeous creature.
So welcome to tonight's Whispering Room, and we are looking at our relationship with our pets, our animals, our hamsters, cats, dogs, horses, giraffes, whatever you have. So who'd like to open with any questions, observations about life with your animals?
I do a lot of whispering with horses.
Yes. And
I come across a lot of problems that horses have themselves.
Yeah.
And dogs. A lot of it is to do with past life experiences, would you believe?
Ah.
Even they come through with a past life experience that cause behaviour problems now.
But tell us more about some of your experiences working with clients and horses.
Okay, I had a horse when I was guinea pigging in the early stages, and this has always stuck out for me because I wasn't expecting it. A horse had problem when it was brushed underneath its belly.
Oh yeah.
It would start kicking you, and when it started that, it just didn't want you to be there. So I started putting my hands under its stomach, not feeling anything at the time, nothing to notice, but I took on the residue. So when I went to sleep that night, it was created for me as, well, in fact, I didn't get my head on the pillow, and I actually fell out of the bed because of this massive loud explosion. And the explosion was, what I was shown was this horse in particular had been in the First World War. It was a cavalry officer's horse, and it was right in front of one of those guns that you see, with the big cannons. And what happened was, as it reared up, it took on the full blast of the explosion, and all the shrapnel would have been embedded in its stomach. And those traumas had come through to this life. Now, I cleared it all. This was my very first guinea pig. You've got to understand this. And it was such a shock, but I knew it was right. It was very, very real.
Yeah.
And after that, the horse did get better because it wouldn't kick you.
Yeah, yeah. So you were called in because this horse was always kicking. Was that the problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had another problem. Well, it wasn't the horse's problem, actually. A woman came to ask me, she says, could you sort my horse out? And I says, yes. And I says, what is the matter with it? She says, well, I think it's got a problem with a sore back. So I checked it all through, and I said, no, it hasn't got a sore back. I says, yes, it's got a dip back with age. I says, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with this horse. I says, can you tell me what the problem is? She says, well, when I went to look at it, and she says, and I tried it, she says it was fine. I fetched it home, and she says, then it started creating problems.
Right.
And I says, can I just ask, what was the problem? She says, every time I got on it and it home, she says, it would throw me off.
Yeah.
Now, I said, there's nothing wrong with this horse. She says, all right. She says, fair enough. Could you come and see me? So I went to see her in her house, straight from the horse's stable, straight to her house. And because she wanted me something to do with her hip. And as soon as I put my hands on her body, there was this dark, thick, black molasses. And I was absolutely in no doubt what it was. Again, it was a shock to me because I hadn't experienced it before. Yeah. But I just said to her, hang on, who's been messing with the occult?
Yeah.
And she looked at me and
Yeah.
she says, I did
Entity
20 years ago. I says, I don't care how long it was. I says, but it's all around you. That is why the horse is kicking you off. Because if I can feel it, which isn't very pleasant, I says, it can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took on board all that rubbish, and she rang me up the next day, and she says, Jackie, she says, I can't believe it. She says, the horse is happy, the kids have noticed a difference in the house, the dog is happy, and my business has just gone whoosh.
Fabulous, well done.
But I have to say, the downside for me was I took on this horrible stuff.
Sure.
And it was horrible. And my arm, arm, you'd just think there was an elastic band around this.
Absolutely. I mean, that is brilliant work you're doing, but there are ways of actually releasing that energy, however dark it is, by not soaking it up yourself, because that is of no value to you.
No, I totally agree. But at the time, it was my learning.
Yeah, sure.
So now I can deal with anything like that now.
That's wonderful to actually, that, you know, it's not the horse, but the horse is alerting the owner that there's something not right in her life.
No, that's right.
They go around carrying stuff, light, dark, whatever, but because they're used to it, it feels normal to them. And it's when you interface it with another person in a relationship or an animal, and remember, animals are there to actually show us something and wake us up to something. And clearly this horse was doing that perfectly, because they're incredibly sensitive creatures. And it will pick up anything that is out of alignment. So why would it want a rider who's carrying dark, gummy, dark energy? So what a gift, you know, but it needed your human intervention to actually see that. So that's beautiful, wonderful, great work. So
I've progressed from there.
Yeah.
I now do sports horses. People say they've got a problem with the horse because they can't get through a barrier to train it properly, or its athletic ability isn't quite how it should be. So what happens now, what I am doing now is releasing the stiffness, the tension, the stress, and it makes clarity in the brain of the horse. And the owners can sense the fluidity, or the rider, should I say, can sense the fluidity in the horse and its movement, whether it's a show jumper, a race horse, a dressage horse. It all raises the vibration, and the performance is absolutely top notch. And they are winning. They are getting national champions out of it. I'm getting national champions out of it.
Yeah.
And not just the horses, but the riders as well.
Yeah. It's great when we hear good results. You know, it's always an indication that the energy is flowing as it should. So that's wonderful. And any observations or questions from our other people on the group? I mean, I find that fascinating to hear that. You know, all very familiar, and lovely to hear it in action.
Well, if I can just elaborate a bit more, if you don't mind, guys.
Yeah.
People look, and I say, I'm quite happy for you to watch. So it says, I don't have to prove anything. The animal will prove for me. And what happens is I tell the owners, whether it be a dog or whether it's a horse, what happens is they go into a state of a trance, and all the wrinkles around the eyes and all around the mouth just totally relaxes, and the head drop right down onto the ground. And many people say, we can't believe this. Now, there could be clashing and banging of wheelbarrows all around. These horses just don't wake up from this trance. And they tell me when they're finished, because all of a sudden they'll come out of it, and then my hands are literally pushed away. And that tells me I've gone as far as I can for that animal. They're happy.
Brilliant, fantastic. So you've added whole hypnotizing to your...
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Horse grieving, I've had all that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of horses that are grieved, you know, when they've actually gone in on themselves and they shrink. And I've had people watch me do a pony.
Yeah.
And they've actually said, is this pony growing? And I says, if that's what you can see, that's what's happening. I'm releasing the dark grieving process away from it.
But, you know, emotions are shared with all creatures, and, you know, as humans are, it's no different with any animal at any level.
No.
Sharing, you know, the levels of emotion and pain and joy and love.
Yeah.
You know, and we can share in that and work with it, and it's so recognize it. So that's beautiful.
Some of them, after a while, they'll tell you they've had enough of being ridden. They want babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to get rid of one of mine. I have had her since she was 2, and she's got to 7 now, and she will not be ridden. She just plants herself. And I knew what it was. She was saying she was just like her mum. Her mother didn't want to be ridden. She was quite happy just to do nothing and just have babies. Well, now this horse, my horse, has gone to a fabulous stud now down in Gloucestershire. I can't wish for a better home for it.
Wonderful. And again, that really takes understanding and sensitivity and being prepared to let it go and allow it to go.
Yeah.
You know, its own soul journey, as opposed to it's my pet.
That's right.
Keep it for life, and that's a very interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let you. Please feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah. So and anything from anyone else?
Well, I don't have a pet myself at the moment. But I have had a dog, and I've been walking the neighbor's dogs when I was a teenager for a long time. And my question is actually not so much about pets, but about the other animals, like insects or mice or birds that come in your garden. Could you explain a bit more about that?
Oh, they really are all part of creation, whatever they are, however we might consider them as lovely, cute, or pests. And it's about communicating with them, listening to what their message is. I mean, here outside my front, I've got a huge California lilac, and all day there are birds and red robins and sparrows, and they just come and sit, and they always have some kind of message or energy, or they're kind of waking me up to something. And often you'll get insects just flying around the room, and the first thing you want to do is kind of, swat them out of the way by habit, because that's how we were brought up. I was brought up. And then it's like pulling back and just recognizing that they are part of the creation. They're the creatures of creation, and they have a part to play. And it's about just connecting with, what is their role? And when we start looking at things like ants, they transmute negative energy, the same as bees and cats. And because their work, or part of their work, is to transmute negative geopathic energy in the land or in psychic space, they're built to take it, but they are there to actually show us that there is something out of balance in our space. So if you have a lot of ants coming through your house or your garden, if it's outside, then that's their domain. But when they start coming through the house, they're showing you that you may have geopathic stress, and you need to look at that, otherwise it will affect your life. And the same with bees' nests and wasp nests in the roof, or bats. you know, as soon as people discover them, they get people in to come and kill them and get rid of them. But again, they are showing us that they are concentrating where the energy is, let's call it negative or very yin. And so rather than killing the nest of bees, it's like they are showing us there is something that we have created in our three-dimensional consciousness, the house being the three-dimensional sphere, and that we need to address an aspect of our life. And if we see that as a message and deal with it, they are doing us a service and we are doing them a service by kind of waking up to, you know, what's the message? What are we missing? So, yeah, there is always a significance. I certainly find that. So it's worth even going to the level of talking to them in some way, asking them what's going on. Who are you? Why are you? You know, you know, what is going on? Why are you here? You know, this sort of thing.
I've got a problem with crows.
With crows?
Yeah. To me,
oh, we just had Sally join us. Hi, Sally.
When I was at my old house, they used to accumulate on the stables.
Yeah.
And they were telling me something.
Yeah.
And they were bringing negative energy with them.
Yeah, crows are pretty cool creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since I've moved to my new place and I've got divorced, they're not around anymore. I didn't get them.
So what was their message?
They worried me, and I thought, no, you know, and I couldn't sense on what level. Obviously, I can't. But they accumulated. There was 6 or 7 every day.
Yeah.
And now I don't get them. Now I get owls, but I don't get. That's wisdom.
Absolutely.
Crows.
So,
yeah.
so what was the message the crows were trying to tell you about your relationship, your husband, your partner?
No, I know this sounds weird. I know this sounds weird.
Hey, you're talking to a bunch of really weird people here, so don't worry.
Oh, that's all right. I just kept getting this thinking, witches. Crows and witches.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, why is this? And it was very real. It was tangible. You could almost touch it. And I must admit, I read a book last week and something happened. And it was about witchcraft.
Yeah.
It isn't witchcraft as in witchcraft, dark stuff. But it was all good stuff. And I discovered through this book, because I was hyperventilating at the first page, I discovered that this story was teaching me something.
Yeah.
And when I tapped into that energy of that book, I realized I'd been burnt at the stake 500 years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, so witches or spirit people were burnt at the stake as a witch, and Jesus was crucified on a stake for exactly the same reasons. That for me was my connection.
And you feel the crows were carrying that energy.
Yeah, very much so.
They can do that as message, and they were doing that perhaps as messengers to wake you up to remember that past life.
I remembered all right.
Yeah.
I remembered all right.
I've
got rid of it now.
Yeah, I was talking to one lady this morning, and she recounted a dream that she was being persecuted and chased through the forest by a group of men, and she got to the edge of a cliff, and she had a choice to make whether to be captured and done with, you know, with as they did with witches or magicians of the woods, I prefer to call them, and or whether to jump over the edge of the cliff. So so we filmed the video story, so you'll have to wait to see what she did. Literally a cliffhanger. But these, why I say that is that these memories are being triggered in so many people, so that we can actually remember and resolve and clear past stuff for whatever our soul journey is in this lifetime. So yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I love animals. I've got a dog and I've got a cat, and they're a constant source of teaching for me. My cat is like, I call him my cat husband because he sleeps by me every night, and I absolutely adore him. And he, he purrs and he's loving and he's beautiful. And then I've got the dog who, hasn't been an easy ride for me. Learning how to be a dog owner is not necessarily a easy thing. Yeah. And I've had challenges along the way with it, for sure, and quite a bit of destruction in the house because of the animal and my relationship with her. Yeah. And I don't know how far to go into that, but that just feels like, for right now, this is what's going on right now. And it's nothing to do with the cat or the dog. It's actually to do with flies. Oh, yeah. And rodents.
Well, in fact, this is what we were talking about. Nikki was asking about, because she doesn't have any pets at the moment. She was asking about, what about all these other creatures? And I was really just that they all show us aspects of energy that are around us. And when we have pockets of negative energy, either in the earth through geopathic stress or in psychic space, which we are putting out there for some reason, life that we haven't dealt with, they will attract certain creatures like ants and bees and wasps and flies, because they're actually like that kind of negative energy, but their purpose is to transmute it, but also wake us up to what is going on.
Well, it's interesting because, like, I guess for the last 6 months, I've been aware of this animal in the walls of the house. And, and I just been like, well, I can't kill it. So I just, it's having a nice time in there. I'll just leave it and see what happens. And this scrabbling is getting loud. And people keep telling me, you can't keep rats or mice in your wall cavities. They're going to chew through things. And so I keep thinking, I'll get the council in to do something about it. But I can't bring myself to do it. It's pathetic. So the animal stays there. Then probably chewing away the all the things that, whatever.
They will eat your house like your dog.
So again, I'm not doing it.
They are alerting you that something needs attention. It really is what it's about. All creatures are just part of the whole consciousness, and it's not us and we've got a pet so that we can say we've got a dog we take for a walk or a cat that we can stroke. They're part of our soul journey, and it's like our guides and angels. They'll kind of nudge us into a direction that we need to go because of the soul journey we've chosen this lifetime. So the animals are part of that whole matrix. So if you've got a mouse or a rat or whatever it is in your walls, it's connecting with it and seeing what the message is. Even talking to the spirit of it. Do you know what it is, or are you just?
I don't know. No, I just hear it scrabbling around the walls.
Yeah.
I hear the odd squeak, so it's definitely something squeaky.
Yeah. I mean, you could sit by the walls and hear the noise and actually try and connect with it, or stillness, which I know you can do because that's your work. You teach it. And actually connect with what is the message that I need to get from this.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I like that. I haven't looked at it like that. I've just been in this kind of I've got to kill it, I can't kill it mode for the past 6 months. And it's the same with the flies. It's the same with the flies. The flies are driving me mad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to kill them, so I keep, and then it's like, so I'm asking them to leave. I keep saying, please leave, and then I'm going around the kitchen going,
Yeah.
please leave, please leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Sally,
Now,
Sally.
that's great. You're doing the physical actions, and what I suggest is you can't deal with anything at a physical level. This is why if you kill them or get someone in to kill the rats, the mice, whatever it is, you haven't dealt with the issue, and it will come back in some form. What people don't realize, it's like space clearing. You can't space clear if you haven't dealt with the issues within a person, because that person has to deal with the core issue that is created, bringing in the clutter. So going in, clearing someone's clutter is not the answer.
Yeah.
So it's about not clearing the physical flies, but getting again to the root of what is the message? What is it in your life that is not perhaps being addressed? And it's about talking to the spirit of the flies or the rats or the cats or the giraffes, whatever it is, rather than, you know, the actual physical three-dimensional flies.
Yeah.
And in
I
that
love that.
way, you can possibly get a message as to why they're there. And clearly they are out of place. Yeah, because their place isn't in the house. But they are there because they are serving you in some way. And it's about getting that message. And that's beautiful. I mean, what service they're doing.
This is why I bought the Raid, the fly spray Raid, right? And I bought it because like 3 days ago I thought, do you know what, I found maggots in the fridge. This is enough now. I don't want this horrible thing. So I bought the Raid, and then it's come back, and then I just can't bring myself to spray it. So I'm not spraying it. So this problem is still there, and maybe because I was waiting for this wonderful gift that you're giving us tonight. And I'll see if I can use this now to.
I mean, you know, you may have not caught it at the beginning, but about 10 minutes before we started the session, or 15 minutes before, the black cat that visits me, Marlowe, just suddenly appeared. He doesn't come in at this time, never in the evening. He just appeared, came in, and so I picked him up and we did a little video, which is on the Facebook feed. And then just as I was switching on to connect with everyone, he's at the front door, sitting outside on the mat, and he's probably still there. It's like, you know, a gift. He knew he's come to kind of join in, support. He loves that kind of interaction with human, and obviously he knows I love him dearly. You know, he's a beautiful cat. So yeah, he just passes through, has a cuddle, has some biscuits, and he's off again. So great.
Can I ask Sally a question? Some question.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah, Sally, do you live in the country at all, or in the city?
I'm like in the suburbs of a town.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's a back onto a park, so at the back of the house there's lots of trees and things like that.
Right, because I was thinking if you hear these squeaks, sometimes it can be a seasonal thing. They always, in the winter, all the mice and rats all come inside in the winter, but when the summer comes, they all leave the house. And if you find sources of grain, they will bring it into the house with them. Rats being rats, they will kind of eat anything. And what I think your flies are from is from a dead animal that's created the maggots, that's created the fly mass. And I was just thinking, and especially when it's warm weather, there'll be attracted water flies.
So she's got a lot of talking to do to a lot of creatures.
Yes. Wow, I'm so excited to do this. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, Jane. I see you've appeared at last on the screen. You can catch up with the recording later, but yeah, do you have anything to share with animals and life? And
I'm wondering why I'm attracting lots of cats.
How many do you have now?
Sorry?
How many do you have?
Well, I have 12 cats, but I'm just wondering if they especially like visiting me. Lots of cats visit me as well. Yeah, I'm just wondering what's attracting them all, because I never used to have lots of cats.
No, but you clearly love them.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any feelings as to why they're coming? Is it your cooking or?
No, it's definitely not the cooking. Oh,
I don't know. Does anyone have any views on that?
No. Okay.
Sometimes I think animals can be a crutch for something else.
Mm.
And it does make you think.
What kind of avoiding something in life, you mean?
Yes, yes. Or it fills a big hole for something that should be there.
So that you don't have to face something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It could be a crutch for something on a bigger scale, on a deeper level.
Absolutely. I mean, can I ask you, Jane, are you happy or bored with your job? You know, is that how fulfilling is that in life?
The job is, no, I'm not happy in my job, no. I do feel I'm to see where I belong. I definitely don't belong there.
No. I mean, could it be what Jack is saying, that you're just filling your life up with lovely animals?
Could be, actually. Could be. I think I'll
kind of rebalance the kind of, yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing a job I didn't want to do.
No, you get stuck on a treadmill. It's really, it's hard getting off. Yeah.
Well, 12 is probably manageable. I probably have shared a story with some of you about the consultation I did up in Yorkshire. It's one of the stories in my book, and I turned up and she had like 44 cats roaming around the house. So that was quite an experience. So I'm not sure what message or what was going on in that life, but yeah, it's certainly worth addressing what significance. Unless you just love cats, and there's nothing more than that. You know, it doesn't always have to be a deeper kind of spiritual reason, other than you just love cats.
No, I have about 4 different cats that visit me. The neighbour's cat, he's waiting outside every morning on one of the cat beds outside, and I have other neighbours, various people's cats up the road. All come and play. We'll come round for tea. Yeah.
So it's like a bit of a meeting ground for.
It is, yeah.
Maybe it's a new job she should be doing.
Yeah.
If she's not happy in the job she's got, do what she loves doing. You know, being a cattery.
Yeah, run a cattery.
Run a cattery. That might be the reason.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. That sounds feasible to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, because there's always a need for catteries and kennels, isn't there? So,
yeah.
Is that something you'd love to do, Jane?
I would. I'm just worried about paying my rent, really, I suppose. I think,
yeah.
I'm not sure how the wages are with 2.
Yeah.
And also feeding 12 cats is quite expensive.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the thing is with any of this, yes, there's a practicality of life the way it is, and it's not about giving up your job and trying to set up a cattery, but it's about the transition. But if you actually know where your heart is with what you want to do in life, like your soul journey, and you put it out there, you find that the universe starts to work with you and will start to open up doorways, and suddenly the opportunities come, the money will appear. You know, magic does happen when you come into alignment. And it's never to worry about how it's going to happen, but just put it out there that you're really open to that.
Oh, okay.
Just see what, you know, the universe responds with.
Oh, okay, great.
Not to try and work it out yourself.
Okay.
But it's a great idea, Jackie. Yeah.
The RSPC are always looking for catteries when they're over full, and they pass them on to catteries, and they get funded from the RSPCA charity.
Oh, okay. So there is a financial model then.
Yes, yes. Okay. And people can go to the catteries to go pick up orphan cats, like the wood dogs. I only know that as a friend of
them. Okay.
Oh, right. Thank you.
So you got some homework to do there, Jane.
I have.
A bit of recceing, and but I suspect you just love to do that, and you know, why go and sit in an office all day doing what you don't like?
Yeah. Yeah, quite. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think bees and wasps are both ends of the spectrum? Like for me, bees are very soft, but the wasp mirrors bees, and the wasps are just pure angry.
And yeah, absolutely. They do carry a lot of anger and attack, and I've experienced that, and it's really not nice. Yeah, I mean, bees are there to create, well, a lot of beauty. I mean, obviously through honey and the work they do, and the pollination. I mean, it's absolutely crucial to the whole ecosystem, the work they do. But yeah, they're certainly, okay, they kind of look-ish, similar-ish, but they're very, very different. You're right, energetically, extremely different.
I think bees are, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good. I think bees are, they're pretty much fifth dimensional beings, I think. They're at a very high level of energy, the bees.
Yeah.
And I totally not the wasp. Yeah, they're definite beings. And actually, when you work with them, so we've got an opportunity to help rehome some.
Yeah.
That's when you get into the hive and you're in that experience, you can really feel the sacredness of the bee. Yeah. They're totally it blows you away.
Yeah, and when you look at the geometry, the sacred geometry of the bee, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Also go back thousands of years in a lot of the esoteric traditions, symbol of the bees. So,
yeah.
Yeah, they are very, very special indeed. You're right. I've not worked that closely with them, but that would be. It's interesting to hear you say that. How it feels.
Yeah, the hum of them is like the the hum of the bee. It's like the It's the sound of it as well. Just takes you straight into this another world, really. And you're right in with them, and you're moving about. You're so present with them. You've got to be so present.
Yeah.
And then you can really tune into them. Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. It's beautiful.
Do you get any sense or messages from them as to their version of their
being? For sure, definitely. And I haven't been with them enough, but yes, even in that short period of time, definitely. Yeah, there's a huge connection, and you can sit and meditate with them for ages, I'm sure, and get lots of information.
Yeah, fabulous. Wow, wonderful. Thank you all for joining and contributing, and until this sort of time next week. So thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Lovely to see you, and thanks everybody.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.